Namaste. There's some funny news I happened to hear just now. The news narrative says that some 15 countries banned or put sanctions on the Pakistani soldier Asim Munir, now, who, in spite of losing a conflict with Bharat, declared himself as field marshal, so people call him field marshal, etc. Even they themselves call. So 15 countries put to make sanctions on him. Now, any country can put sanction on anyone, whether he is a dictator or a ruler or a common citizen with some certain valid reasons. And this time, it seems they have put sanctions against Munir as a violator of human rights or something, some such things. But it's a very funny thing that this man who goes around in a khaki uniform as an army so-called field marshal, and then people dislike him, and the countries, some 15 countries, I don't know, the list I don't have really, I just hear this news only, are sanctioning him that if he happens to go near them, they'll get him arrested. And then I don't know what they will do with this arrested specimen, but then this is an interesting story. I don't know how Pakistani people will welcome, because Pakistani people are soulless condition. I remember what Marx said when he was reacting to a book written by Hegel, that is critic, philosophy of right. Hegel wrote that book, Philosophy of Right, and Marx was offended by his teacher. Marx was a Hegelian to begin with, young Hegelian category. So Marx had was criticized his teacher, that is Hegel, and he wrote a small pamphlet-like thing, critic of Hegel's philosophy of right. Small, it's not much. I don't know how many pages. Some maybe 20, 30 pages. I forgot rightly. So in that small write-up, critic of Hegel's philosophy of right, Marx speaks about religion. Of course, he very clearly says that he speaks about what religion has become in the context of Germany. Because that particular paragraph, which has become very popular throughout the world, throughout the time, begins with for Germany. So, where Marx speaks about religion as a sigh of suppressed creature, soul of soulless conditions. Marx is very poetic. If you read his other writings, you'll understand how poetic he is. See, in 1844 manuscripts, he writes something very funny. He says, "A hungry man's freedom is a hole in the air." Now, that's very, not simply rhetoric, very poetic kind of expression of Marx. So, he has also written some poetry. That's again besides the point. So, sigh of oppressed creature, soul of soulless condition, and then he narrates and concludes that it is the opium of people. He calls religion is the opium of people. Precisely, Marx is right, I would agree with him. At that time, the kind of religion existed in the kind of society of his experience was opiating, was oppressing, was suppressing, where people didn't have freedom to breathe. There is Sylvia Plath's poetry. Barely daring to breathe or sneeze, she writes, barely daring to breathe or achoo. That kind of a situation. So, the people of Pakistan is far flung from all those, in the sense that they do not know what's happening to them. They do not know what they are supposed to think. They have been asked to they have been told things and they blindly believe because they have no rational faculty. Like the critical patriot is a channel there which says so many things but doesn't work, which doesn't work, and then they are helpless, but helplessly stubborn, helpless, sigh, oppressed sighs, but helplessly stubborn, arrogant, and determined to self destruction. This is a situation in Pakistan. I don't think anyone can ever help him. So, this is a Munir is doing this kind of atrocities to his people, of course, quite possible because he amasses money for his future. His family, if I'm right, is already well settled in some other country, and this man still plays around here and goes around in many nations on tours with all kinds of pretexts, and hardly anyone is bothered of the people. We shall meet again. Namaste. Jai Bharat, Jai Shri Ram.